Photography by itself is not a high income skill, but everything around photography is what actually makes it pay. Picture two photographers in the same town with the same camera. One charges $200 per session and is barely making enough to pay rent, and the other is making $20,000 a month. That's because the photographer making $20,000 a month has a system that serves the client and it helps them get to their order easily. They have real products. They have a plan for how to get there at every step of the process. No winging it, no guessing. And if you're only charging $200 per session, there's literally no path to the $20K a month. By the way, I'm Sarah Petty. I've been a portrait photographer for 28 years. And today I help portrait photographers build a boutique business and use that same system to have profitable months. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the high income skills that any photographer can learn to make $20K a month with. I used to dread answering the phone. I didn't know what to say. I really preferred to just email people back. But I realized I either wasn't booking people or the people who were responding and emailing me were those late night price shoppers. After doing that for a while and getting no results through email, I figured I would at least try to get on the phone with people. Learning to have that conversation is exactly what the first skill is built on. It happens before you even think about picking up a camera. Here's what that call has to do. It has to pre-qualify them. So are we aligned on needs and investment? And I'm firing questions at them about their family, their lifestyle. How do they decorate their home? Do I know someone who works with them? Someone who lives in their neighborhood? I'm trying to see if there's a chance we've crossed paths at some point. We're building a rapport and I'm hoping to find that affinity, that thing we have in common. Before I share a single price with them, I really need to assess if their needs align with what I offer, and really if we'll be able to know, like, and trust each other. Can you imagine trying to start the building of a relationship through email? No. So if we pass through those questions with green flags, next, I want to make sure they understand what we do differently and why my company is priced the way we're priced. I'm pointing them toward our now shared goal, which is ordering wall portraits for the wall, beautiful printed pieces, books, and albums. Had I not done that in the first conversation, everything else falls apart. It's funny because a lot of photographers on the first phone call or when they're having a meeting before this session will ask the client, what do you want and where do you want to hang it? And early on, I did that too. And people would say, well, I don't know, because it isn't their job to know. It's yours. So I always look at it this way. I want you to sell the destination, not the airplane. If you ask someone who's going on a big vacation, which airline do you want to fly on? Like, they don't know. They haven't ever been on a vacation to Hawaii before where they got to go in a plane. The real question is, where do you want to go? And let me help you get there. We are the expert in what we do. And I want you to think about the destination. So say they just got a new puppy, for example. Our job as the photographer is to figure out how they could celebrate that puppy with new artwork that they're going to look at for years and have goosebumps. Think about a classic, timeless framed portrait hanging over the mantle, or a fun, bright grouping of personality-filled canvases of that new little puppy bouncing around hanging in the main living room. Helping them see this before you create it is the skill. And if you don't know how to do that, that's a gap that you want to dig into. I always say, little hinges swing big doors. That's a little hinge. And if you write that down and you focus on that, it can change the game for you. So at the end of the phone call, when we set up a time to meet, they think it's just to go over the nitty-gritty of the photography session itself. What time should they arrive? Where do I park? Do you have a dressing room? What colors should we wear? While these are important things, they're not actually my main focus during the consultation. At this point in the process, they know what I do and they've decided to move forward because that happened on the first phone call. So They know this meeting is important and it matters because of what's going to happen in the session, and they want to get great photos to choose from, right? All of this matters to me because I'm offering boutique wall portraits and albums and beautiful printed pieces of art that will be heirlooms. This means that I'm creating these legacy pieces that my clients are going to have for the rest of their lives. This is such an important conversation to have. And truly, I won't do a session without meeting with the client in person. It's just a non-negotiable for me. And I think that's part of why I have such high averages, and I have for 20 plus years. After we've bonded and I'm doing the needs analysis and I'm assessing everything they're looking for, I'm also wanting to get ahead of any future objection or concern they might have later. This is a part that most people skip. In the last step where they're ordering, if they're spinning out with all these questions, they're going to hit a wall and have buyer's fatigue, and they're going to have sort of paralysis by analysis. So I want to make it super easy for them by answering questions up front. I explain that I photograph differently depending on where the artwork is going. So one giant wall portrait is going to be photographed very differently, and it's going to look different than if they're looking for an album. An album needs more variety, more locations, more outfits, and all of this gets them more clear on what they'll be ordering, so I don't have to overshoot. I ask them to pull up a photo on their phone of their home. I might say, text me a photo of your mantle or of your kids' rooms so that we can understand the scale of the portrait that's needed. The consultation is clearly planning the final wall art, even though they thought they were just coming to find out what they should wear and where we're going to go. But it's so much more than that. That's why it's a non-negotiable. Now, once you run that consultation meeting, here's what you do with it. You are going to plan the whole session backward from the wall and from what they're wanting to order because you made those decisions already. So before I even pick up my camera, we've already decided on the products that they want. There are actually 7 different things I do in that in-person consultation, but I want to share the biggest one. That's the needs analysis. A lot of people think that needs analysis is just picking out what everyone will wear, but it's not. I'm noticing they have a trampoline in their yard, and I'm saying, oh my gosh, how fun would it be to have a giant piece of art over your sofa with the kids jumping on the trampoline? They love it. Boom. I just sold it. Now all I have to do is go create the photograph. And listen, I photograph it differently because of that plan. Say I found a spot over the fireplace where they can fit a 30 by 40. They love earth tones. Their home is all browns and taupes, and they're an outdoor hiking kind of family. I've got to plan and create a feel for this session where every day they're going to look up at that artwork and they're going to step into that identity of the adventurous family or the fun family because we planned the location together, we planned the clothing together, and we decided on the products together before we even created them. Then all I have to do is get them interacting in a way that gets them excited and grab the images. Now, here's what quietly kills the sale, and it almost never happens during the session itself. Literally, it's either a planning mistake you made or didn't make, more likely ahead of time, which led likely to you creating too many images and overwhelming them afterward. And listen, if you have to overshoot to get the shot, that's fine. That's one thing. But you're not going to show all of those images. Most photographers get plenty of images. They just overwhelm the client with every single one. All right, you planned it. Now you simply have to get people to relax so you can get the beautiful image that sells. That's a skill too. We know that, right? Because most adults really hate being photographed. They freeze up, they get self-conscious, all the things. So in that pre-meeting, that consultation, I tell them, listen, come and relax. We're just going to have fun. Some people forget it's even photo day because I did my job earlier. I already know what matters to them. I know where they work, what they do for fun, so I can just talk the whole time. Once we get there, I sit down, I start asking them questions. I get them engaging with each other and talking about each other, and they completely forget about me. The dad who clearly doesn't want to be there, it's no problem because I found that out in the consultation. So in that session, I might have a glass of wine for him, or I have his music playing because I found that stuff out. We don't make it stiff and awkward. We make it fun, like it's no big deal. The toddler who won't cooperate, we are toddler photographers, so we geek out over that, but we know how to work with them. We run them through a circuit because we've got tools, we've got toys, we've got games, we've got little things to make them lean in, and we whisper. And a lot of times we don't even let their feet touch the ground for the first few minutes. That's part of the craft. And if you're going to photograph children or pets, you got to learn how to work with them. And of course, to get a genuine reaction instead of a stiff posed smile, I ask a question. I'll say, tell me what you love about your dad, or tell me what you love about your wife. Now they're looking at each other, thinking, being sweet, paying attention to each other instead of me. So every so often, I feel it. I get those little goosebumps after I've clicked the shutter, and I turn to the client right there and I say, whoa, that's the mantelpiece right there. That's the big one. That is, ooh, gave me goosebumps. And I only say it when I feel it. I don't fake it. But later, when they come to see it, they go, you knew it. Not because I'm manipulative or salesy, but because I let them know when I created that image that felt so special to me. And then that becomes the big sale. By the way, these skills are just one piece of getting to the 20K a month. There's almost always one thing holding a business back, and it's nearly impossible to see it from the inside. So I have my coaches setting aside some time this week to do a free profit path assessment call with you to help you figure out what that next clear step is. I've stuck the link in the description below so you can grab one of those spots before they fill up. Now, the next skill decides how big the order gets. Painting the vision so the client can see it before it exists. When someone can't picture a large wall portrait in their space, what we do a lot of times is we take a photo of their wall and we put their artwork on the wall to scale. We have different softwares that do this really easy, and it's such a great tool. After 28 years, I often don't need to go to that extra work because people trust me when I tell them I think this is the appropriate size. You can't deny it for someone who struggles making a decision when they look at it and they say, oh, that's perfect, that's the size. And guiding someone toward a bigger, better piece doesn't have to feel like a hard sell. The word I use is appropriate. If they're watching their budget and they want to shrink it down, I'll say, I'm happy to help you cut and narrow your choices. But if you're going to cut that piece down, it's too small now for the mantle, let's put it in a different room. My thing is, I suggest pieces where they're going to have impact. So putting an 8x10 on a wall isn't going to have impact. But if you move that piece smaller into a smaller room, it will still have impact. That's why I like the word appropriate, because nobody wants to feel like they're ordering the biggest, right? People want what's appropriate. That's a good word. How does a client come in expecting to invest a little and leave thrilled that they invested a lot? There's nothing tricky I do in this process. It's everything that happens in the process to serve them. They trust me. They enjoy it. They helped make the decisions the whole way. So they're ready to order. They buy with emotion, yes, but they justify with the logic because they've invested so much time in the process. If I would ask people at the door, hey, when you came in to me, did you expect you were going to invest this much? And they'd say, no way. Are you thrilled? They would say, 100%. That's not pushy. That's just great service and being worth every penny. The last skill pulls all of this together. Building the business behind the camera, the systems, the technology, the marketing. Even now, I'm still studying two things: making better systems and using technology to make the back end easier. And the third, that's always serving my clients better, which is really what selling is. Those systems let you completely serve people at a different level. Once I landed an order over $50,000, actually 3 times, I had to design this client's entire home and build products I'd never made before. One piece was around 10 feet long and about 4 feet tall, and I had tiled black and white images all over it. I thought it was fantastic, and I wondered if it would overwhelm them, but they wanted every image, and they had a huge house with a lot of walls, so I was serving them. It was fun, though, in the presentation. I really had to push myself and get creative to fill up their entire house with as many things as they wanted. And listen, doing things differently than every other photographer in town has directly made me so much money. When I started, I would offer hand-painted frames where I worked with a local lumber yard to build them and a local artist to paint them. She did polka dots and Swarovski crystals. And we designed really fun artwork for kids' rooms. Better Homes and Gardens even featured us in their Kids' Rooms magazine. So I would put those as displays all over town, and people would call me freaking out over them. This is one of those really unique little things that I did that blow up my business. And my marketing did the same thing. And now I teach my students all of these things. Like I call my printed marketing pieces a dog whistle because they're so cool that when my right fit clients see them, they freak out, and I can identify who is a right fit client for me. It's pretty cool. And it's funny because like competitors in my market have tried to copy me, but they can't. So go back to those two photographers we talked to at the beginning, my friend. The one still charging $200 and has no system, no real products, unsure about pricing, no plan, and nothing that makes that person stand out. And then let's talk about the one that's making 20K, who has every part of their business built out. Totally different story. And listen, if you want help building the pricing and the system behind these skills, book a free call with my team and get your own photography profit path assessment. The link is in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one.